On Sunday, the world celebrated Easter, a festival commemorating the resurrection of Jesus Christ. But for many in Colombo, the festivities were marked with grief. It's been 2 years since the Easter bombings, a series of coordinated suicide blasts carried out by Islamist terrorists. They were the biggest terror strikes in the country in at least a decade. Churches were desecrated, several luxury hotels were attacked. A total of 279 people were killed in Sri Lanka, but the government is yet to punish the perpetrators. 2 years and zero prosecutions. The question is why? Our next report explores.
On the 21st April of 2019, Sri Lankans woke up to the news of a terror attack. A little before 10 a.m., a blast ripped through St. Anthony's Church in Colombo. Worshippers attending Easter Mass were targeted. Minutes later, another place of worship about 30 kilometers away was hit. A blast took place at St. Sebastian Church in Ngombo. And then it was the Sion Church in Batikaloa. Terror also struck 3 luxury hotels in Colombo: the Shangri-La, the Cinnamon Grand and the Kingsbury Hotel. At least 35 foreigners were killed in the attacks on these hotels. Hours later came the 7th explosion. A hotel near the National Zoo in the Dehiwala area, a Colombo suburb, was attacked. An 8th blast hit the suburb of Orugadawata in the north of Colombo. 8 attacks in just over 6 hours. As the Sri Lankan government sprung to action, our team traveled to Colombo to find out what had happened. But little did we know that the crisis was far from over. Another bomb went off at St. Anthony's Church, as our correspondent Siddhan Sibal was reporting just a few blocks away. Watch again. With the security apparatus clearly having failed, the Sri Lankan police launched a crackdown to control the damage. Raids were carried out, suspects were detained. The initial probe found the attacks to be the work of religious extremists, all associated with the national Tawhid Jamaat. But the arrests did little to allay the fears. Sri Lanka remained in a state of emergency. On the streets of Colombo, the fear of another attack persisted for days.
This is a very congested area of the city, and shops have finally opened a week since the blast. People have come out. People are still wary. People are still looking at security officials. You see that van, a police van with armed personnel. And this has become a common sight in the city of Colombo. Everywhere you go, there are frequent checks. Cars are stopped, vehicles are stopped. Your I-card is asked for. And this has become a way of life.
Adding to these fears was the ongoing war of words between the politicians. The Sri Lankan government was split. The Prime Minister blamed the President for the security failure. The President said he had no clue. As politics took precedence over national security, we sought some answers from Ranil Wickremesinghe within days of the blasts.
We know for a fact that there was a lapse, but whose fault was it?
Well, the information didn't flow up. And the information that went down was not acted fully. Because if the information that went down was acted on, you could have prevented all the blasts, or at least many of the blasts. One of them could have taken place.
There are claims that a political conspiracy could have led to these lapses, and this is a very serious claim. Do you believe this? And more importantly, are you going to investigate a charge like this?
If there is any evidence of political conspiracy, yes, we will inquire into it. At the moment, we are looking into lapses in the system itself and inactivity.
The 2019 Easter massacre exposed the fault lines in Sri Lanka's politics. The intelligence was there, the information was there, but the disaster could not be averted. Even today, politics seems to be stalling the judicial process. Last month, a presidential commission report was released. It blames the former president and the former prime minister for failing to act, despite intel inputs. The exercise has become more about settling political scores. As the 200 people who have been arrested in the case wait for their turn to face justice, 2 years and 0 prosecutions. Only a lot of political blame game. Bureau Report, WION. World is One.
WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.